Hey, what's up, guys? We're back for St. Patty's Day Meltdown 2018, Round 2, Part 2. I am your tournament director, Dylan O'Malley. I'm joined by my assistant tournament director, Bud Kerr.
Yo, yo.
And our special guest, CSU Disc Golf team member, Princess Heiser, Noah Newman.
What's going on, guys? How you doing tonight? Josh today.
We are on hole 13 here for St. Patty's Day layout. Sponsored by Grassroots California. These guys are awesome. Check them out. They make some great hats. Bud, what are we doing on this hole?
Yeah, so this is just an absolute monster of a hole. 692 feet, playing along Epic. You know, for the Dora locals, we call it the Epic hole. But you can either throw it traditionally down the gap. This is how personally I do like it. It makes it more of a kind of a mountain style golf, a little bit more technical, just right through all the gaps. Other people, when the mando's not up, you throw the big rollers, but we opted to put in the double mandos and make people throw these nice tight lines. After you get through those double mandos, it does really open up and really allows for a lot of shot variations from rollers, big hyzers, sidearms, pretty much almost anything that you want. Wow.
We just saw a really great shot from Joe, and then Andrew just leaked it a little bit right, and he hit a tree. I'm not sure if he's still short of the Mando. I'm kind of digging this backside camera angle. It's looking down the tunnel. Noah, what did you do on this hole?
So, I took a blow destroyer, definitely my favorite disc in my bag, and just kind of went up the middle, pretty much as hard as I could, because I know if I throw straight, I throw hard. And so I just kind of kept the timing straight. Did what Eagle did, but about half as good. Got out of the tunnel and then just got kind of out there. And then took my hyzer upshot, kept it inside the trees to the right that we're going to be seeing coming up for the upshots. And then caged my putt because Joe Rovere actually was watching me, so I got pretty nervous because Colorado legend. But yeah, so took my four, wasn't too upset about it, just kind of a, par, kind of get on to the next hole.
Connor's a little pinched here on the Mando. He's going to the forehand roller. Gets himself out to a good landing zone. And it looks like somehow Andrew made the Mando and has passed it by like a foot. Yeah, he's going to the hyzer, trying to get in the landing zone. And then he'll get up and down for his four is the plan, it looks like.
That was a great shot from Andrew.
Yeah, great shot from Andrew there. Did a mid or a putter cross your mind for this one, Noah?
Oh, absolutely not. I knew that I was either throwing that Color Glow Destroyer, or I even thought old S-Line PD2, kind of just a straight driver. For me, the timing kind of gets in my head, so if I can throw something full power, my drive is going to be more accurate. And that shot from Joe was absolutely incredible.
Those were two perfect shots from Joe. He's really setting himself up well here. Getting some really crazy air bounces for Connor here.
Tons of air bounces.
He's up by the wall to the left. This building, if you're on top of it's out of bounds, but a lot of people like to crash into it, basically. Andrew's throwing a hyzer here, trying to play the skip and get himself close. And that was about as good as you can throw that shot.
That's definitely a good scramble, get his par, and then kind of get on the next hole. Very impressive golf from Andrew so far.
And that guy who's all bundled up in the gray giant parka back there, that's our assistant TD, Bud Kerr.
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Looking like he's so cold. The weather's really starting to turn here. It's Colorado in the springtime, so you're going to see some weird weather. We're looking at Connor here. I think this is his par putt.
I think it's for his birdie, but either way, not an easy look.
Ooh, just a little low. Here's Chavez. He's lining up about a circle's edge putt here. That looked good from this angle.
It looked great. It was a little short left.
Joe looking to tap in a birdie here. That's a great putt.
Thanks, good.
Wow, what a good birdie for, especially during round two. It was cold, windy, and it was really not fun to be outside. But great birdies for Eagle and Joe.
They really really made this hole look a lot easier than it played. As you'll see, the average on this hole is really high. Anyone getting a 3 on this was getting strokes on, folks.
Yeah, I was definitely looking to help Eagle and Joe out. I took a 6 second round, messed it up pretty good. But, I just figured, their lead, they could use some cushion, I was charging, so.
Yeah, 4.8 there. As you can see, Eagle's just shredding this round. He's 6 down. We're on a hole 14, which I know everyone's favorite hole on the course. Bud, why don't you break this hole down for us?
Oh, yeah. So, I was telling Dylan I wanted it on the side of a hill. That's the right side of the hill. Make it a nice, easy shot after that nice, difficult hole you just played. Well, he goes, I'm going to put it on the left side of the hill. Make it even harder than probably the previous hole. So, that's what we got, folks. A nice, good thumber. Most of them, a big hyzer, or even a straight up the gap using like a Mako or a Leopard. The big thing with this hole is the green. It is on a slanted green, so anything you do hit on it, it does have a high percentage of hitting and rolling off to that OB on the left side.
All right, guys. So here's the 2 ideas I have for this hole. So this first pine tree that you see to the left, I want to make it a Mando right and then put the basket back on the top of the hill. So it's basically just a tunnel shot the whole way. Or we put it on the right side of the hill and basically make it a kind of a technical hyzer hole. Kind of give you some confidence birdie look. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, we're seeing these guys mostly go these big hyzers or the thumber route. The thumber is honestly the best play, but you're really playing with fate because this hillside is very steep, as you can see.
Let's note real quick. Honestly, Chavez, I think, played that one of the easiest ways you can. Is just taking a deep hyzer and then just laying up. He honestly made that hole look extremely easy.
And as a player, I didn't know there was OB, which we saw that Connor found. So seeing that pop up on the screen was pretty surprising. Chavez, great play, and then Connor, sorry to see that bad luck.
Yeah, there's OB right at the bottom of this hill, so anything that rolls out is most likely going out of bounds. That was a rough miss there from Connor. Eagle taps in a nice par. Chavez with a nice par as well. Really, a par is a pretty good score on this hole. It's going to average over par. You're just not going to see very many birdies on this hole.
You can see Joe is really checking out who got CTP. That's a very impressive shot. Just
shout out to Aaron Grunwald. He's the one who actually won the CTP. I think he threw the hyzer and just stuck it 3 feet from the pin. Amazing shot.
Wow.
We're on to hole 15 here. Bud, why don't you break it down?
So we specifically make this hole for Joe Rovere. We call it the Joe Rovere hole. More likely, so we do create an island, and it is a layup zone as well, so you don't have to go for the island off the tee.
Joe hits the island there and skips out.
But it is on the shorter end, 101 feet, somewhere around there.
It's 191.
91 feet, my mistake. And
it's downhill, though, so it feels like it plays maybe 120.
You feel like you can kick a disc there.
Yeah, it's right there. But the island is really small, especially the right side of the basket.
But it can be extremely infuriating as well.
Because Andrew is well outside the island there, and he's maybe 40 feet from the basket. This is a tough hole. It's really just a mental game. This is a shot every one of these players can throw
without
every day
a
of their
doubt.
life.
Eyes closed.
But you step up to this in the wind, and it just really plays tricks on your mind.
And then once you miss this shot, the drop zone is not that easy. Even though Joe Rovere makes it look very easy, there is OB right behind the basket, so it is really easy to get a skip off the basket, go OB again.
I'm guessing Joe practiced that drop zone putt a lot, to be honest.
I don't know.
Noah, what'd you do on this hole?
So on this hole, my game is kind of just go very overstable, mid-range, I throw a mortar or a gator. Some people might throw a justice, but just kind of hang it out right, kind of bank on a skip. But today it was a little bit different. We weren't really getting skips, so I kind of just had to kind of spike it into the island. But as you guys can see, it's playing very tough today. The average is a 3.4. I believe I was one of the fours to help bring that up. And then it was tough to play in the wind, so kind of try to tone that out.
Yeah, that was 23% birdies and 57% bogeys. A lot of people missing the island for round 2. We're on a hole 16 here. Bud, why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, so hole 16 here, we did shorten it up quite a bit from the traditional layout on this hole and traditional 6. Plays extremely downhill. We wanted to create the ability of players to kind of go at it and possibly birdie it or possibly bogey it as well. With this high wind factor, you can see a lot of the players aren't possibly going to go for it. It is also going to turn over their frisbees. And most of these guys are throwing PD2s, super overstable destroyers.
Joe right here is throwing a Metal Flake Max, which is just a crazy overstable disc.
So yeah, and it just flipped out like nothing.
Yeah. This is a really stiff headwind, downhill, and as you can see, that disc just skipped like 10 times. Really, the idea with this hole is basically give these players an opportunity to go for this birdie and choose how much they want to bite off, because there's OB left and OB right and OB long, and then it plays to an elevated basket. Noah, what'd you do here?
That's a really great question, Dylan. So the OB kind of tightens up behind it, so that kind of got me a little bit puckered, because where the basket is right now is kind of where I try to land for my normal shots on the normal hole. So with this wind, it was a really stiff headwind, a little bit left to right. So I kind of took my most overstable like throwing driver and just tried to rip it straight out the basket. It ended up turning over and going OB to the right, which was pretty frustrating. And then I got up and down for my 4 with it was probably a 45, 50 footer tailwind putt coming back at the basket. But yeah, it was just kind of confusing playing this hole with so much wind, especially the headwind and the left to right combo. So I was just trying to keep my round going, and I was just trying to kill time until I could get inside and get warm, because it had probably dropped 20 degrees since the round started, so, it happens.
Yeah, these guys are all looking to take easy pars here. I think they're pretty much all setting up for that. This basket is a little bit elevated, and this is one of the windier parts of this course because there's nothing out in this field. That's a really great putt from Connor. Eagle's lining up his par putt as well.
Might need to pull that.
Yeah, and this is our lead card. Looks like they're all going to be taking pars, so that just really shows how difficult this hole is playing, especially with this wind and with the OB curling in so tight, kind of narrowing down by the basket.
Yeah, I was trying to give you guys about a circles with the broom to the left and behind the basket, and it kind of tightens the whole way. So the more you bite off, the tighter this hole gets, and it really makes the upshot pretty tricky. Oh, rough putt there from Chavez.
Unfortunate.
Really unfortunate putt. Just a little bit high right. He's frustrated, clearly. Yeah, that hole averaged 3.7. No birdies in that wind. 52% par, 31% bogey. We're on the hole 17. Sponsored by Christina White. Awesome artwork on her tee sign. Bud, what are we doing on this hole?
Yeah, so it is 555 feet. We do have it's pretty wide open. There is OB on the left, the sidewalk, and OB on the right, the power plant. Mostly what you want to do is just absolutely crush this down the fairway and then try to give yourself an open look at this kind of tricky green. It is on a hillside. It does have OB right below it as well. It does have OB kind of behind it. It's a little bit trickier to get to as well.
There is OB left of this basket as well. I don't imagine it coming into play. But there's these 2 pines and the cottonwood. You really want to get past those 3, and then it's a really easy up and down. But if you're short of those, this approach becomes very tricky. Noah, what were you trying to do here?
So round 1, I was actually behind Eagle, and if you guys saw that, he destroyed this hole. It was very impressive to watch. So I was basically trying to just do something similar to that. So my game plan here is I take my overstable color glow destroyer and I throw it on like a hyzer flip or maybe even a little bit of a flex at the cottonwoods, and that sets me up for an upshot, either like a gator hyzer, or maybe a P3X or like a stable putter kind of right at it. And then my first round I was able to get my birdie and then kind of move on. And then second round with the wind, I just kind of took my 4 and went on the next hole because I knew that there was not going to be very many hot scores. So I was just trying to level myself out with the playing field. And as you guys can see, with the shorter drives, those trees can really get in the way. Chavez unfortunately catches that pine tree, and Connor's pinned right up against it with what looks like a pretty high skip shot. It doesn't really work out best, but it'll definitely get him an easy par.
Yeah, the wind was coming right over this hillside, so if you were short of the basket, it turned into a really nasty headwind, and it's a severe slope to the uphill. And so really, you wanted to be under this basket because this was putting really tricky. Andrew's throwing his second shot here because he really pushed it far to the right to open himself up for the hyzer approach, and it really looks like it's working out well for him. Joe going with, I think that's a gator approach shot. Here's Connor throwing his third shot. Yeah.
And to kind of put this hole into perspective, those cottonwoods that we saw Andrew far past, probably about 450, 475 off the tee box. So it's really pretty impressive if you can get past those and get past those pretty easily. So those easy up shots are definitely hard to come by, or they're at least good to come by. And wow, that was a really great putt from Chavez. Props to him for being able to stick that in this one.
Taking it back, that putt from Eagle was a little bit shaky, lifting over the basket, possibly carrying OB, but it was yet to get blocked by that concrete barrier around there.
Yeah, he caught that barrier real nice, just short of the OB line that we strung up over there too. He just caught himself in the corner, and that corner is probably maybe 20 feet. Gimme range for Eagle. Andrew plays that hole beautifully. Big turnover and then a hyzer and then taps in his birdie. The birdie on this hole was hard to come by for round 2. The wind was really tricky on the screen. Connor making a nice par putt there. Yeah, playing just over par. Round 1 it played well under par. This hole really is supposed to be a birdie hole for par 4. But we're on hole 18. Sponsored by Les White. Great graphic designer. If you need anything done, hit him up. Bud, what are we doing on this one?
Yeah, so we're throwing another kind of a big shot. Again, we have tight OBs on the left and the right, finishing with an island green. So most people, the shot is to throw the sidearm and then throw basically another sidearm and just make your putt and birdie out. I have seen a couple of people try that big hyzer around it. Dylan will say it's more of a sucker shot to kind of loop you into it. But if you do have a big arm, such as an Eagle or maybe a Landon Flutter John, you could possibly get.
Yeah, I saw Landon attempt the hyzer, I think, 10 times. And there's a brick wall that's just short of the green. And if he gets over the brick wall, it's going to be parked. And he hit the brick wall every single time. So he's probably about 5 feet short. Connor takes a terrible break there and hits the tee sign for the regular regular tee pad. And yeah, Chavez is going out to the left here. This hole is a 3 is a really good score. We saw a lot of big numbers for these guys going for the hyzer play, which honestly I wanted to leave that as an option, but I don't think it's the play on the hole. Andrew tucked up pretty far to the right here. It's going to be a tricky approach.
And we did change this hole from last year as well. We did a little bit of modification, removing the old tee pad on top of the hill, taking it down, kind of where last year's ante pad was. We kind of just scooted a little bit further back and also remove the triple mando as well.
Chavez really played that up shot very nicely. Played a backhand hyzer into the hill, which kind of opened up that forehand hyzer. And of course, hyzer golf is the best golf, so props to him for lining that up very well. Joe took an unfortunate kick with his hyzer forehand upshot. Looks like he kind of just got stuck. Same with Connor. They just kind of released it a little bit low and kind of dug in. Let's see where Andrew's shot lines up. I believe this is first 3.
What did you think about this hole, Noah?
I really like this hole because off the tee it allowed you to either go forehand or backhand. I personally went backhand because I was scared of the just cutting and rolling to the right, getting into those trees with a forehand. So I knew that with my backhand I'd kind of get into that hillside like Chavez did, and then that would open up either a big like backhand turnover or backhand forehand. And I really like the layout of this hole because it brings back the original tee pad probably about 100 feet, makes it a little bit trickier, and then tightens up the, like, I guess it's a gap that you could go for, but yeah, it was really fun, really cool island to me.
So we were thinking about that hillside, making an OB line at the bottom of the hillside the whole way, so that if you threw it into the hillside, you'd be out of bounds.
I think it's a terrible idea, and if you guys did that, I would no longer be your friends.
And I'm always arguing for the players, so of course I said, no, Dylan, let's make it easier on the players and let's scoot it back to the sidewalk.
That's what makes me and Bud a good team. So I want to make it as hard as humanly possible on you guys. Players who play my events, you guys know what I'm about. I make these events hard, but you walk out of them and you're satisfied that you played one of the harder courses you're going to see this year.
That's definitely a really great birdie from Eagle. That's definitely a hard get, and it's very impressive that he was able to get it, especially in these conditions. So, props to him.
Yeah, that whole average of 5 for round 2, which is really high. We just saw a ton of big numbers. I think people are getting a little more aggressive for round 2. We're on a hole 19. Bud, what are we doing with this one?
Yeah, definitely a big 530-foot shot. As you can kind of see, there's correlation to me just saying a big shot after big shot.
We are in par 4 square here.
Yeah, par 4 square, just par 4 after par 4 right around the square. There is OB on the right side, and after that it kind of opens up. There is definitely plenty of trees to catch your frisbee. But other than that, it honestly plays as a pretty easy par 4 in my book. Yeah, and a little bit of a tricky green. And we kind of combine 2 holes with this as well.
Yeah, the tee shot, you want to get through this gap and really push it to the right a little bit. But really the main objective is get it past these pines on the right so that you have a good angle to the green. Noah, what were you doing on this one?
So round 2, the wind really wasn't allowing for my go-to shot on this hole. So traditionally I try to go big flex over the pine trees directly in front of you and then try to push past this brick wall that we're seeing and then as far down that valley towards those cottonwoods as we can see. Like, I just want to get as far down that way as I can. But this wind really wasn't allowing for it as there's a tailwind and kind of right to left, I believe. So I was just trying to go straight up the gut and then just get a look to possibly throw towards the bucket. Looks like Connor got a pretty bad break. Trying to do the same thing. Definitely not awesome to see that. So it looks like he's just trying to pitch up towards the next tee box and then get up and down first 4.
Looks like he's a little on the messy side on the left side, though.
Yeah, no, that left side definitely doesn't give you any good footing, but if you can work up towards the bucket.
Ooh, rough break there for Chavez. He was going for the low hyzer skip shot. Looks like he caught something coming back in. This road to the right of it is out of bounds. It kind of bends to the right. So if you beat the road, it opens up dramatically when the road breaks to the right.
Eagle there. He was going for sidearm, then he switched it to a backhand.
Yeah, Eagle's changing his mind quite a bit on this approach shot. Andrew, he's basically set up perfectly. You're going to throw straight at the basket, basically try to run it into the hillside here. And make you comebacker.
That's basically exactly what you want to do. That's a very clean up shot. Joe's looking to do the same thing here. And it looks like he's done that. He's a little bit higher up the hill. That'll be a little bit trickier of a putt, but either way, still in line with the basket and still gets a pretty simple look at it.
Is that a tomahawk with a putter from
I
Connor
think
Mitts?
Connor just went with a tomahawk. That's a rare sight if anyone knows Connor.
And not to mention with a putter.
Yeah, Connor Mitts definitely known for his crispy, clean backhand. Doesn't really pull out the tomahawk too often, but it looks like it worked out kind of well.
Going upside down putt?
Upside down putt
What
hits the
is
top.
this?
Wow.
What is happening?
The year of the shield, baby.
Here's Joe from the top of the hill. Wow, he missed that low.
That's a really tricky putt. I found myself up there both rounds, and if you ramp off the top of the basket, you're going to be in this bush about 20 long, and so it's definitely tricky to gauge what kind to do. And that's a really great birdie for Andrew, especially in these conditions. And it looks like everyone else is just kind of dropping in, trying to get on to the next hole.
Looks like Connor's walking out somewhere extremely cold, super hunched over.
Well, Fort Collins, Colorado on this day was extremely cold, and it was an experience.
Alright, on to hole 20, sponsored by Dellenbaum Motors. They were a good sponsor for us. They did such a great job. But what's going on with this one?
Yeah, so we did create a little bit of an OB line to the left. It does come out on that mound that you're seeing Andrew approaching a little bit. And it does look like he did find it. But overall, this is a pretty wide open shot. There is OB on the right as well. With an elevated tee pad, with some wind, it can kind of create a tricky off the tee shot.
Yeah, this wall to the right is out of bounds too, so it kind of creates this tight fairway aspect. Joe here's playing the low hyzer, which I actually really like.
I think it's such a good play.
Yeah. It really sets you up well for the second shot. And the second shot, the OB is much more forgiving, where you can get really aggressive. Noah, what'd you go for on this one?
There was a really stiff headwind this second round, and so I really wasn't trying to pull off anything special. I was thinking, if you can get out of here with a 4, you're going to be sitting pretty. Like, that is just fine. And Brian Geis actually was on my card, Fort Collins guy. He hit about 2
Central
feet.
Coast.
Yeah, shout out to Central Coast. But he was about 2 feet from the wall and skipped up on top of it. And as you can see, it's about a 6-7 foot wall. And so that was right before I threw, and I was kind of scared. And so I just kind of took it easy, threw my most overstable driver. It was a Color Glow PD2, and just kind of didn't really want to do anything special. And then took out the exact same disc and just tried to get up and down. For my 4, if I got a 3, cool. Probably wasn't going to happen, and I was totally okay with the 4.
Yeah, so this hole, obviously stiff headwind. It's almost 900 feet. The par 4, getting a 3 on this hole is impressive, to say the least. I don't know if we saw any 3s in round 2, just because it's so long and it was such a stiff headwind. And most of the field, this was right when the wind and the rain was really starting to pick up. As you can see in our camera here, the rain's really starting to get going. It's getting pretty nasty out there.
Shout out to Dale and the crew for staying out there and filming this round.
Yeah, Dale, you guys did awesome. I'm so happy to see this on video.
Eagle lining up an upshot. Looks pretty clean. It's definitely going to get him a putt. With this wind, though, it's going to be a little bit trickier, but I'm sure he'll be able to put that in and then get on to the next hole.
That upshot from Joe was kind of uncharacteristic from him, especially with the gator in his hand. You ought to be a little bit closer, especially like what Noah was saying within these wind conditions.
Yeah, Joe with a gator is definitely the start of a pretty terrifying story out here in Colorado. Joe has a gator in his hand. You better watch your back.
Joe's got a gator. It's probably within 10 feet. 9 times out of 10. Andrew throws a nice upshot there. I'd like to give a quick shout out to all of our volunteers. Chris Copran, Brendan Hickman, Adam Dembicki. All you guys did absolutely fantastic. Noah
Jason
Newman,
McConnell,
John Booth. There's too many to name, to be honest. Oh, rough putt there for Joe. But you guys made cleanup a breeze. Setup went really smooth, and honestly, guys, if you want to contribute to disc golf in any community, please go out and volunteer for a tournament. You guys are so underappreciated by the community, but so overappreciated by us TDs.
The heartbeat to the tournament, for sure.
Yep. So obviously, well over 5, and this is a par 4. No birdies. This hole played just extremely difficult with the conditions.
Really mean out there.
Hole 21, sponsored by Turfmaster, which is Adam Mondragon's company. Bud, what are we doing here?
Yeah, we're most likely going to be throwing either a sidearm or a straight shot. It's about 330 feet, and it is over a creek with an OB line a little bit away from the creek as well. Kind of creates an island feel. You can lay up without a penalty, but honestly, I do feel it is one of the more birdie or die holes out on this course.
Yeah, there's an OB line to the right of the basket, too. Connor looks like he caught one of the OB areas here. This hole, par is a good score, but you're really looking to get your birdie because you can go hyzer either direction. Noah, what'd you go with?
So this hole, it was, as you guys can see, it's definitely very rainy at this point, and the concrete has gotten wet and the footing is not good. I came about 15-20 minutes before, so my footing was alright, but it was cold and my discs were starting to get wet. So I just went with what I trusted. I went backhand. I laid up to the left and just tried to get up and down. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to because just, disc golf stuff happens. And so, wow, that's a great sidearm. And as we're seeing on our top card, the sidearm looks like it may have been the play, but, wasn't really trusting mine on this day, and especially in this wind. So you just got to go with what you know. Connor doesn't really know that his umbrella is going to be staying there, but, it's alright. It doesn't really get in his head.
I do think sidearm is the play on this hole, and I don't throw many sidearms. I probably wouldn't throw a sidearm either, but I do think it is the play on this hole.
It is a power sidearm. Oh, Eagle leaves that a bit short. This OB line's at the top of the hillside, so it's 10 feet from the basket.
No.
Wow, put on the brakes.
I think Chavez stayed in there, but it had to be close. Yeah, so any putt from behind the basket is a severe death putt. Connor is trying to walk down this hillside in mud, which, good luck to you.
Seems dangerous.
Yeah.
I did see him after this round, so it turns out Connor did make it out alive. Oh, see, there he is, returning from the valley. But yeah, so.
Yeah, a bunch of pars there. Connor takes a 4, unfortunately.
I wonder what the other means. So, like, just triples?
Other is anything higher than double bogey.
Ooh, that's 6%.
Yeah, 6% higher than double bogey. That's rough on that hole.
Bad days.
On hole 22, what's going on here?
Yeah, so it is. We do have a Mando here to limit that big hyzer. It is on this nice flood pole that we have here. Most people are going to be throwing a big sidearm, as you can see, just that perfect shot from Eagle McMahon, or a nice good thumber as well, as you can see from Joe Rovere. But that is basically your main 2 shots, and then you can also throw a backhand ante it as well. But you do have OB behind the basket, to the right and to the left, narrowing down as you get closer to the basket.
Yeah, the typical Mando here is that big tree in the center.
Oh.
You have to go left of it, and that really makes it kind of questionable for some of these overhand shots. So we decided to change this Mando to this flood pole, which made it much more definitive, but it also kind of opened up a hyzer option. I don't know if anyone actually ended up taking it effectively. Noah, what'd you do here?
So I went thumber actually. Didn't really feel comfortable with my backhand, especially in this rain/wind/snow. And so I just kind of took thumber over the top, just got up and down for my 3. But as you guys can see, this green is playing very dangerously. There's OB to the left, which Andrew found, and then there's OB to the right on that road. And those putts really are not that easy to get. And Andrew's showing a little bit of frustration, but it happens on this hole. There's OB left, there's OB right. It's just tough to get your 2, and then saving a 3 feels like you want to get it, but really, really tough to get. Great birdie from Eagle. Very impressive in these conditions, but
Yeah, we have another putt here from Connor Mitts. Ooh, hanging on the left side for par.
Good catch.
And he just throws his hands down. I don't think he minds that too much.
Here's Joe for par. Yeah, Joe, he makes a lot of putts.
That's what he does.
Joe
Makes
is
putts.
a...
It almost looked like he dabbed on him right there.
Joe's a 7-time winner of this event. Obviously, it's pretty unlikely that he's going to be winning this event. But he wins Eddie Doro very regularly.
big shout out to Chavez again for getting the other birdie. That was very impressive in this condition. It was not an easy 2.
2 sidearms, 2 birdies.
Shocker that the thumber
Shocker.
weird.
On hole 23, sponsored by Mini Pro. Those guys do awesome work. The McConnell family.
Hey, McConnell, baby.
They make great.
CSU alum.
They make great products. Keep it in the CSU alum family, as we'll see. Bud, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so we're basically throwing a big hyzer, or you can throw a straight shot to the left of the tree as well, down in the pit. And yeah, you're hoping just to get down there, have a look, and make a putt for birdie, and not carry it too deep to carry it down into the water.
Yeah, so there's an OB line long of the basket, short of the water, just to make it a little more definitive. I think that worked out well, but it was honestly kind of a difficult OB line to make.
This is a traditional Eudora hole.
Yeah, this is a really old school Eudora hole.
This is an old school Eudora hole. One of my personal faves.
Ooh, rough break there.
He's not liking that.
Here comes Andrew, also throwing the hyzer. Basically, you're trying to throw your hyzer here. Land a little short, pretty much exactly what Andrew did, and then skip it into the bowl there. And hopefully it goes in the basket.
There's one other line. Oh, Connor got a pretty unfortunate kick from what looks like just the bush, not even the tree.
He seemed that upshot a little more wide than he did.
But the other play off the tee is to go over those trees off to the right, then hyzer into this big guardian tree, and that kind of just drops you down into the bowl that the basket's sitting in. Definitely a riskier play, but you know, if you're looking to make up some strokes, that's the way to do it. Eagle, that was a really uncharacteristic miss from him, but he's probably going to be making that comeback. If he has a look, of course, there's that tree behind the basket. Oh my goodness.
Well, Noah Newman eats his words.
Yikes, I was wrong.
Oh, good
Wouldn't
punt
be the
there from
first time.
Connor.
Through the trees.
Here's Joe to tap it apart.
As you can see, the rain is coming down. Camera's getting a little wet.
And I don't know if Bud Kerr was wrong, but I believe it was snow by this point.
A little bit of sleet coming down.
It was nasty. It was cold. I was wanting to leave at this point. Just
I was definitely wanting to go to Gilda Go, drink some beers, talk about the winners.
yep.
And
On to
losers.
hole 24. This is the last hole. Sponsored by Discmania. Awesome company. Check out their discs. Austin and Chris were just a dream to work with. They make great stuff.
Two Discmania pros on the lead card. Might be a
Also,
little correlation.
some Fort Collins / CSU alums in Austin and Chris. Bud, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so this is another kind of straightforward shot. End on more of a kind of a birdie-ish hole. There is a Mando eliminating that hyzer, which I'm personally not a fan of, but
No hyzers.
No hyzers. So it is more of a thumber to straight putter shot, even some kind of flex forehand. And then just kind of lay it up there, not carry it inside of that creek.
Looks like Eagle's going with the Scooby. Good play if you have it. Most people don't, but it'll get you out onto the green or get you a look at the basket. Definitely a tricky green. It is, while it is like a birdie or die kind of feel.
This is what I like. Straight up the gut.
Even that.
Technicality.
I think the best play is just going straight up the gut, straight at it.
Just putter mash.
Let me know what you guys think of this Mando in the comments.
Vote yeah for Bud. Send it hyzer.
I'm considering changing it. I like the Mando because I don't like handing on a easy hyzer hole. But
and while
let me know what you think.
Keep in mind that these guys are saying easy hyzer, but it's really not that easy. Definitely easier. But not an easy hole by any means. And you guys can see there's snow coming down now. Everybody's running their disc, trying to get off the course. Let's go to the Gilded Goat. Let's have a good time tonight. Like, just get out of the elements. Colorado in March, definitely a crazy place to be.
Unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. Great round there. Eagle McMahon just absolutely ran away with it. Joe ended up taking second place. Andrew in third. Connor in fourth. He was tied with Landon Fletterjohn, who just charged from the chase card. Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors here. Discmania, Mini Pro, Burst Logo Apparel, Russ Birdsall, Grassroots, Gilded Goat Brewing Company, Horse and Dragon Brewing Company, every spotter, volunteer who came out. You guys all made this event absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. This event is not possible without sponsors and volunteers. If you want to get involved, please get in contact with me or Bud Kerr.
Or the NoCo crew.
Or anyone from the NoCo crew. John Booth, Jason McConnell, Casey Terry, Ryan Honfelder. All you guys are awesome. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for coming out and supporting the 2018 St. Paddy's Day Meltdown. This is Dylan O'Malley signing off.
This is Bud Kerr. Send it.
This is Noah Newman. Go Rams. Follow me on Instagram and have a good rest of your day, guys.